Oh, hello there, Site-42 staff, and those of you from the greater SCP Foundation community. And welcome to another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site-42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director and Head Containment Specialist here at Site-42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done daily for 6.5 months and counting, the streak remains strong. I am here to open my office doors to you, the Foundation staff members, to answer your burning questions, sometimes literally depending on the cognitohazard, about our inner workings here at the mysterious SCP Foundation. Now, whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who get a little tetchy about this whole containing thing, they don't really like it so much, I guess. And finally, hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview. Perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. I am here for the next approximately 3 hours to answer your queries. But before I begin, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, Junior Researcher Sally, congratulations on being the most punctual member of staff today. Congratulations on being first. Furthermore, alongside you, Dr. Puppeteer, Billy the Go-Goat, Chesta Factory, Dr. Frogman, Amber Chaos, James Darkfire, who just became one, Dr. Pepper Dragon, Zerdrin Aoki, Fairy Quartz, everyone whomst I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being members of Site-42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Alongside you all, A.A. Blackwood, Director Ethan, Born from Deceit, and Lily Not Found. Thank you guys for being here punctually, and thank you for being here just for being you this fine day. Now, alongside James Darkfire, thank you very much for becoming a Level 1 researcher right at the start of today's stream. We appreciate your newly minted membership and service, and we hope you'll do great research as a Level 1 researcher to help us win the battle against the White Names. Furthermore, one more thing I want you to become ready for is we are currently knee-deep in the cesspool that is nominations for the Streamer Awards. Somehow, by streaming once a day for 6.5 months and counting, we somehow qualified for the Streamer Awards. This is kind of crazy. And so in our support link, which is beacons.ai/site42, the best place to find all of our social medias if you want to follow us other places, Patreon, all that kind of stuff, you find it in there. But right now at the top of that list is the Streamer Award nomination link. You're going to go there, and there are 5 categories that Site-42 qualifies for. Do I think we'll win? Maybe not. But do I think we can, as a group, force the judges of the Streamer Awards to have to look up what Site-42 is and or the SCP Foundation, and just in the back of our heads we're going to remember how confused they are? I love that for us. I love that for you, and I love that for me. So, when you go to the Streamer Award nominations, if you haven't already, you can vote us for Best Roleplay Streamer, Best Vertical Live Streamer, Best Just Chatting Live Streamer, along with the Hidden Gem and the League of Our Own awards. I thank you if you are making this vote happen, or if you already have, and I hope to at least hear something from them saying, hey, you've been nominated. Who are you? I will find that very funny. Zerdrin, thank you for your 27-month member message as a Level 1 researcher. We appreciate you, the strong strength and duration of your service to the Foundation, and to Site-42 in particular. And become 05, cheers, Dr. Sherman. Are you becoming an overseer? When? How? How did you deserve and earn a promotion like that? You're gonna be my boss? That's terrifying to think of. All right, so Site 42 staff, we will commence today's Q&A after this final housekeeping subject. Any donations or member messages that are sent during this spiel, they will be caught up on, so don't worry, I will answer, and we have little less than 3 hours to go. We have plenty of time. But my first thing that I want to talk about today, our subject. SCP fam, stay winning. But we could win harder. Yesterday, we had a guest interview, our first guest interview during the daily streams, I might add. And I don't think the tech was absolutely terrible. YouTube setting to go live together, that's work in progress, I assume. But here's the deal. Our guest yesterday was Andrea Joshua Esnikar, the Italian filmmaker who made a series of SCP live-action shorts. You can go back. There's a couple early ones. Teenad, the big mini-series, is the one that introduced a lot of us to Andrea. And then a short comedy called The Switch that is also pretty funny. And then we have the new one that released just yesterday, SCP-2316. I do not recognize the bodies in the water, which is, of course, a live-action short film based on SCP-2316 codename Field Trip, but is more known by its tagline, "You do not recognize the bodies in the water." Now, this is not just 2316. There are multiple articles in the description of that YouTube video that you can go to for further reading. Many articles within the Class of 76 canon of events in the SCP universe were included here. And today, after 24 hours, more like 36 hours, that film has a total of 7,000 views. The YouTube channel has gained 100 subscribers for a 45-minute live-action SCP short film. I feel like a crash out is coming on. Because what do you mean? Only 7,000 views. I want millions. I want more. I need more. And so, of course, I do not blame you, the signal boosters, for this. I do not blame you because, of course, you did what you were supposed to do. You went and watched it. And you hit the like button and you commented. You did everything you're supposed to do. And in fact, if I scroll these comments, I am seeing people who have been talking about this piece and who have mentioned the signal boosters, who are coming out here doing Site 42's work of broadcasting this further. But what can we do as a group to go even harder? How do we get this thing bigger and faster and stronger? That's my question for you, chat. We need to evangelize. We need to go. No, Zerdrin. This has 7,000 views, not 7,000 subs. Thanks to how well Teenad did, Andrea got up to almost 50,000 subscribers, but went from 49.2 to 49.3. Only gained 100 subs for dropping a 45-minute live film. I am verklempt. I am enraged with passion and anger as well. We must watch it more. We must comment more. We must push the algorithm. We must share it in the Discord servers. We must share it on the social medias. We must boost this signal because Andrea, love him to death, very optimistic, very artiste. Oh yes, I work my day job, and then I use that funding to make the movies. This is the worst, most stereotypical bad Italian accent ever, and I'm so sorry. By the way, Andrea, if you watch this. And so, yes, he is using his day job to fund these movies. I love that for him. We need to make it so his movies fund his movies. Then he can make twice as much movies. Do you feel me? Do you feel me? Do you feel what I'm putting down, Containment Hazard Assessment Team? I know you do. I know you do. And so, We need to get this out there. We need to share it in SCP-relevant Discord servers. We need to pass this thing around. We need to make sure people know it exists. Repost my social media posts, sharing it. Like, share, do all that. Let's get that signal boosted. The algorithm is at our whim. If only we take the glove, the gauntlet, in our mitts and use that power for, well, not evil, because this is a good cause. Use the power for good. So yes, that's all I want. I just want infinite, excellent, long SCP live-action short films with higher and higher quality bars that reach the stratosphere. That's not too much to ask, right? It's not too much to ask. Dr. Sherman, this is exactly why you were banned from becoming an overseer. You were getting mad over a movie. I am not getting mad over a movie. I'm getting mad at the poor reception of that movie. I want more. I am greedy for SCP art. You know this about me. You've always known this about me. You're here for it. I'm here for it. Let's keep that train going, people. I know we've got this in us. So, yes, we are winning in that we are eating well with a very good new film. But we could eat finer. We could upgrade that buffet. We could get some high classity in here. We could move up to the prime ribs. We can move up to the gold leafs. We could get the salt bay, pouring sprinkles of salt onto our victories. Let's keep that train running, people. You have your orders. Over and out. Well, not over and out. We're still going to keep broadcasting. Chat, I appreciate all of the agreement and all of the emphasis of power you are giving in this chat. You are giving me life, that I am in agreement with my chat, and that we will sally forth. Not junior researcher sally forth. I mean, we could. No, that's not how that works. I don't even know what that means. I'm just word associating. It's fine. It's fine. Dr. Sherman, you're my idol, actually. I have a question about becoming an SCP role player on social media. How do I start? Where do I start? Well, intern deceit. First of all, I am glad you appreciate the work we are putting out in the world. That is most important to us. Secondly, to get into this shtick that I'm doing, first thing I would do is make sure you know how to roleplay, that you know how to stay in character, that you know how to perform in front of an audience without your knees knocking so loud in fear that it drowns out your words. Take some acting classes. Take some writing classes so that you can learn to riff and improv. Take improv classes so you can keep the train running even when you are shocked, disgusted, surprised, enraged by whatever chat throws at you. You all know what you did. Also, further than that, remember that being an influencer of any sort, a social media influencer, is like doing every job on a film set at once. You're in charge of your lighting. You're in charge of your tech for your sound. You're in charge of background music and costuming and makeup if there's makeup involved. You're everything on a film set, which means you got to learn everything on a film set. So I would start doing theater. I would start doing film. I would get used to these things on both the performance and the tech side. That way you can improve your skills. I say this because I should not be the only one doing what I'm doing. There should be more. There should be people better than me eventually. Ooh, the light flicker was cool. Yes, I have the power over all that is technological. Ow. Bad idea. So, James Darkfire, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a newly minted member here in today's stream. Thank you for your generosity. Make sure to grab yourself some crab rangoons on your way past the commissary. I cured the pestilence in my universe, Hey, congratulations, good for you. But we're stuck here on mine with people dying because 049 will not tell us what the pestilence is. Idiot. West W, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some candy corn on your way past the commissary. How the SCP Foundation contain Smile Dog? Well, what is a Smile Dog? I know I've heard of this thing, but I've never looked into this thing. Smile Dog. Creepypasta Files Wikia. Smile Dog, also known as Smile.jpg, is a supposedly haunted image dating back to the beginnings of the internet. Smile.jpg has a reputation for driving those who view it insane, making its victims view it in their mind's eye at every turn. While it's been discovered these images' victims' minds are the result of epileptic seizures, there is no clear understanding of why the image causes this. Well, it is a cognitohazard, obviously. All the victims who spoke up about their experience, however, have said they are also visited by the dog-like creature in the image named Smile Dog. When in these dreams, the only thing the victims can do is watch and listen as Smile Dog tells them that the only respite to their torment is to spread the word, and many of them receive shortly thereafter a removal of media via mail without return address. Inside the media is said to be another copy or form of Smile Dog, which the victim is encouraged to spread. So here's the deal, quite simply. It is a cognitohazard. Online instances would have to be hunted by our artificial intelligence constructs that are able to take these things down off the internet like Snap. Physical media like USBs and stuff like that is harder to trace down, but if we can get word of rumors of the thing going around, we can send agents to perform pickups. As long as they don't look at them, they won't be affected, and therefore, any computer that is said to have it, we would obviously brick. That way there's no risk of our agents being infected. This is a quite simple process, actually. Oh, a bit of our housekeeping still. Let me do a quick run. Arctic and where were you? Where were you, other people? Dra. Your name is Dra. Arctic and Dra, and Minty Stitch, and I Heard My Dog. All of you whom I have just named, thank you for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to staff. Burgers and Dogs, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some French fries on your way past the commissary. Sorry to critique, but containing Doom Guy would be foolish. Yours is a demon invasion of Earth and a potential Shattered Masquerade event as cities fall. Now listen, that depends on the universe that the demon hunting is taking place in. If the demons are infesting Universe A, and Doom Guy gets booted out of the universe to our universe, Universe B, well, then there's no demons for it to fight, and therefore it's easy to just put it back in its sarcophagus and let it rot, because we don't need it over here. Now, should we send it back to that universe? And maybe. But that universe is not our problem. Our problem is maintaining normalcy here. And maintaining normalcy here is not helped by a magical demon hunting soldier running amok. Dr. Knight, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some tapioca on your way past the commissary. Tapioca pudding, I should say. Dr. Knight memo. Latest prophecy we've had to stop. Humanity would have lost the game. O5 Council denied plea to create MacArthur-class scenarios. Rest in peace. Well, we do have to keep that cognitohazard a secret, so good thing you managed to pull it off. It would be nice if they approved the process so we can never have to deal with this again, but the resources are a bit intensive, I understand. Title explain. How do we win more? Well, Just Alice, we win more with a more intense effort of signal boosting SCP projects. Something like an animated show called Anomaly on a YouTube channel called Just Alice. If the signal boosters haven't checked that out, if you didn't know that there was an SCP animated series, you should go check that out. It's good. At least the first episodes are good, and I think the quality is going to keep going. So make sure you're subscribed and watching it. Have you seen it yet? Have you hit liked? Or, of course, as we were just talking about a little bit ago, Andrea Joshua Asnikar's SCP-2316 short film that dropped yesterday. Boost them, signal boosters! Mobile Task Force Site-42, you've got this. I believe in you. By the way, about the tips on being a roleplay streamer and stuff, improv is an amazing place to start. I'm a part of my school's improv, and it can help you learn how to do things straight up on the spot. Sometimes you have very little time to think about what's going on, and so you've got to be able to just take that as a jumping off point, and sometimes use stalling tactics to make sure that you're still saying something even if you don't know exactly what you're going to say next, but you're plotting it in your head while you're stalling, and then you think of what you're going to say, and then you can do it. You've got to learn to think on the fly and keep things going. Yes, and motherfucker. I really enjoy your live stream, the energy, the fun, and the way you interact with everyone make it so entertaining. I always look forward to joining and watching every moment. Well, Lovski, I'm very glad to hear it. We're doing our best out here, and the more practice, the more perfect. For all of our improv and growth and becoming better, more whole human beings who do great things. Doc, can we get an update on the membership members if you can? Junior Researcher Sally, our current membership totals. Now, the reason Sally is asking is for several membership goals that are going on right now. If Site-42, the channel, gets 2,500 green names, 2,500 members, then I have been volunteered to take all of the streaks in my hair next time and dye them completely pink. The pink hair comes at 2,500 members. The 5,000 member goal, which is our big goal, because we are trying to get Junior Researcher Sally, who is making new emotes for the channel, YouTube hides them behind membership numbers. So you can have, like, if you have 50 members, you can have one emote slot. But if you have 5,000 members, you can have 50, 60 emotes. And so, if we continue down the line, growing the membership totals here at Site-42, that means we will be able to have the full range of SCP and Site-42 inside joke emotes. And due to the success of that mission, Junior Researcher Sally will also get a promotion from Junior to not Junior Researcher. Now, that being said, our current totals are 1,226 members. 1,226. We are halfway, approximately, to the 2,500. We are 25% approximately to the 5,000. Oh yes, and besides unlocking all the emojis, it has been deemed by the chat that at 5,000 members, I will purchase a maid dress and do a cat-made waifu dimension stream to celebrate. And so those are our current totals, those are our current goals. Keep it going, fam. Huh, what's this? Oh, I just need to refresh. Okay. There we go. Burgers and Dogs, thank you for donating again. If 682 can't be hurt physically, could you maybe wipe its memory of its hate of humanity or even override its personality? Any psychological warfare? So, on the tip of my tongue, there is something I remember about this. SCP... (682) has fought off mental attacks, personality over being written by certain anomalies in the past. The only anomaly I can think of, though, is one we're not allowed to talk about on the channel due to the rules of the stream. If you know, you know. But 682 did overwrite that overwriting. Therefore, mental possession, I do know for a fact, will not work on 682. Not a bad thought. It just is immune to that too, damn it. Astro, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Likes is higher than viewers already? Site 42 staff, we aren't even 30 minutes into this stream and you already got the like count above the viewer count. Congratulations, Containment Hazard Assessment Team, i.e. chat. Your likes are going to help the YouTube algorithm bring us more fresh blood, and therefore we will get new people into the stream who maybe they like SCP. Maybe they don't know they like SCP, but they'll learn. Maybe they just like the look on my face. Either way, we're getting more people in the SCP fandom, and I appreciate you, Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename Signal Boosters, for your efforts in making that happen. Good work, team. Foxtrot, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a Monte Cristo on your way past the commissary. The parody is done, though I don't know where to go. Well, I do believe your next room after writing is... Would that be now you need to find singers and musicians to codify it? That seems like the next step to me. Dr. Sherman, did you find anything else about our names? And can you please tell your staff to stop eating the goddamn cables? Well, yes, please stop eating the cables. It is not good for our network. It weakens our reach. Do you really want to weaken our reach? I don't like that idea very much. Furthermore, no, in my research on the YouTube name fiasco, it is not being talked about any more recently than 4 months ago, when they first rolled it out for a couple days and rolled it back. So, when I went to Andrea Joshua Asnikar and Afray's stream yesterday, I think in one of them I was my channel name, and then one of them I was the @ symbol. So it seems like it flips back and forth, back and forth. Very frustrating. So I do not know what they're doing with these names, and it's not being talked about in a way that I can see it yet. Raccoon Dog, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a beer brought on your way past the commissary. Hey, Doc, being a site director, have you heard any juicy gossip lately? Juicy gossip? Well... Let's just say that I might have spotted researcher Rollins going into the secret break room behind the refrigerator in the break room with a certain security guard. I don't know. Could be nothing. Dark Duality, thank you for your 5-month member message as a Mobile Task Force captain here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service, especially the expert combat you're doing to help us win the battle against the White Names. I don't get treated the same as the other Sigma 66ers that I have been quicker to cooperate with the Foundation for getting protected from Marshal Carter and Dark. Well, yes, you're going to be dealing with a lot of rough personalities in that group, especially if you're favoring us a little more than some of them who think that they got to stick together against us, even as they work for us against their will. So, yeah, just watch your 6 when working with 66. Dark Duality, thank you for donating for the first time of today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some tuna tartare on your way past the commissary. I was already a sponsor, I just changed my @ Dark Duality without the SCP is fine. Thank you for clarifying. Indeed, indeed. Dr. Knight, thank you for donating again. Dr. Knight memo. To whoever let MacArthur out against orders. Hope you're proud. Because if he lets out 106 again, you're going in the femur breaker. Yes, agreed. Also, again, why did MacArthur let out 106 in the first place? Why would you do that? That's just asking for murder to happen. Oh, and by the way, SCP fam, a while ago I was talking to you guys about my SCP-106 horror film idea. One of the many that I come up with and down the line I would like to produce. And before it was like just an aliens horror, barely see the monster movie, but with an entity that can go through walls and burn you with acid. That's crazy. Then we worked out an opening scene with an action scene of 106 breaching containment to start things off with a bang, really get some interest. And I gave you a list of like very cool action kills that I thought 106 would do that could be really sick in a movie like that. Well, I thought of one more that's really messed up. So, reminder that SCP-106 very specifically is a very, very old man whose skin secretes acid that burns you, like acid do, and also then it can fade in and out of walls and floors and ceilings. So, and basically immortal. You can't, it shrugs off bullets, stuff like that. Well, its personality is just one word, sadistic. It likes hurting things. It gets joy from hunting the weak and hurting them. And so alongside all of the action-oriented stuff that I told you about previously, I had one more idea today and I had to write it down. So after SCP-106 messes up the mobile task force in different manners, there's one guy left alive. His foot is burned off of acid, so he can't get up. He's just lying on the ground, shaking, breathing, about to go into shock. And then 106's face just comes up in front of his, grinning. And then 106 takes one finger and just slowly pushes it into the soldier's eye and through to its brain, pushing its eye out and burning it around with acid the entire way. Oh, that is rough, but so vicious and cool. I want to make this movie. It would probably be like a 30-minute short, because we'd have the opening scene, 5 minutes for containment breach before 106 escapes, then 15 to 20 minutes of 106 hunting these teenagers in the abandoned asylum kind of thing, and then end with the stinger of the SCP Foundation showing up after all of the good guys have lost, because 106 does not get stopped. It's an invincible murder hobo, essentially. But yes, this will be made in my lifetime. It will be made. Thank you for all coming on this journey, and I'm sorry I did not give you a content warning for the violence that I was going to spew there for a moment. Reminder, if you're in an SCP Foundation stream, you should always expect some violence and some sexuality and other adult themes. That does not mean you can fraternize with the anomalies, though. Don't even ask! Dr. Sherman, I'm gonna steal your cup. Well, Intern Jack, you don't need to steal my Dr. Sherman Foundation Personnel of the Month mug. You can get a similar one from friend of the channel, Toad King Studios on Etsy, personalized to your name as well. So please head to Toad King Studios on Etsy, friend of the channel and premier SCP merch maker. If you had come from the, if you had come to the SCP panel that I ran at MetroCon this past summer, we handed out nearly 100 free pieces of merch from Toad King Studios. One per customer, of course. but it was very cool at the event. Expect some sexuality from the ace doctor is a funny statement, though true. Hey, I might not be interested in it, but I can't deny that I'm a fine piece of meat. That is, never doubt my evil and sexy plans. I found out about SCP Foundation from 049 from the original audio file. Original audio file? Well, are you talking about the SCP-049 document? Where there are voice lines of myself and the Volgan performing as researchers in that article? Because then, hi, I'm Dr. Sherman from that article. Good to meet you. Doctor, question. Are you still straight even after you touch SCP-113, the gender-switching stone? Or are you now considered gay? I'm not going to be able to fucking without knowing the answer. To fucking what? That's an adjective, not a verb in that placement in a sentence. Huh. Either way, the gender-switching stone does not affect your sexuality to my knowledge. So, you would transfer genders, but you would still be attracted to whomst you were attracted to before. I want to join the SCP community and have so many questions and hypotheticals. Sorry for asking excessive questions. Intern dogs, that's what we're here for, is to answer questions about the inner workings of the Foundation. So ask more questions. Give me something that I'm interested in talking about. I'm here to answer. You're here to ask. Never apologize for having questions. That's the whole point of these daily streams. Hey, Dr. Sherman, a friend of mine that's new to the Foundation asked who would win, 343 or the Scarlet King? Help, I don't know. So, SCP-343, pointedly, let me get this clear now, is not God. Is not the Christian God as it claims to be. It is a reality bender with delusions of grandeur. Just because it's a nice old man in its form doesn't mean it's God. Everyone sees a nice old man and they're like, oh, that must be God. No. 343 has reality-bending powers, but they have limits like anything else. Meanwhile, the Scarlet King is an extra-universal eldritch being that is probably of the second or third strongest thing on the SCP universal scale at all. Therefore, Scarlet King sweeps 343. Easy. Bet on it. Dr. Sherman, why the hell is SCP-999 eating my leg? Intern Ray, chill out. You just put on weird rubber pants so that it can't slime you and tickle you like it's trying to, and so it's climbing up the rest of your body. Maybe wear some normal clothes next time so it can do its PTSD curing slime tickles without obstruction next time. Huh? Man, the gender switching stone would have been real helpful when I had to pay out the ass for tea. Yes, Kitty Kaiser, we know. If you had signed up for the Foundation first, it would have been included in your medical plan along with your other health insurance. The problem is you transitioned before joining Foundation staff. It happens. I understand, and I'm sorry for that, but you are still working for the Foundation, so you're getting a pretty good paycheck regardless. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. Lol was at Black Mesa. If Gordon Freeman comes by, I most definitely hasn't. Yes, I has, but don't tell him. Taken his crowbar. Lol. Well, Dr. Freeman is a respected researcher, and I don't think we should be pranking him, pray tell. He needs that to protect his universe from the alien invaders and extra-dimensional beings. Give it back. Can the gender-switching stone make me non-binary Doc? Eloise, intern Eloise, the gender-switching stone SCP-113, if you read the document, it has what we call unpredictable results with non-binary identities. Sometimes it can turn you into something that's very close to your approximation of what your ideal self would be in that case. Sometimes it turns you into a cat girl. So, I don't know, man. When it comes to non-binary identities, the gender-switching stone can get a little unpredictable. That's all I have to say about it. You can read that in the database entry for SCP-113. Dr. Sherman, can you help us with something? It's a question about writing an article. Director Ethan forgot how to add someone to a collaborative piece. How do you do that? I don't actually know how to change the author credits on a piece. Is there a how to SCP collaborate author? How to add a co-author SCP. I mean, the best thing you can probably do is ping a member of staff with your question, wherever you can submit questions on the forums. So that wouldn't be pinging anyone, that would just be submitting a question to staff. And they can probably fix it for you. What is a co-authored page? A co-authored page is basically any page written by 2 or more authors. This is different from collaboration pages. Co-authors get equal credit for the piece they write together. Both are listed as authors. Co-author pieces count towards the minimum 3 successful works required for having an author page. Why co-author? I want to try co-authoring. How do I find a co-author? I think I found someone. What should I look for in a co-author? But Zin, what do I do if I haven't read anything successful for the main site yet? What is a collab sandbox? Any last suggestions? Credit where credit's due. The co-author who posts the page to the main site should write an author post that indicates who the other co-author is, as well as thanking any reviewers who looked at the draft and provided feedback. If you use any images, make sure you put your source information in there too. So if you thank your co-author, I believe staff does that for you at the same time that they tag your page. So put it in your author, and there we go. Put it in your author post in the discussion, I believe. This is information from Zin's co-authoring tips essay on the SCP Wiki if you want to check that out for yourself. I see a Ko-Fi come in. Let me get that before I miss the notification. Chester Factory, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a hot pickle on your way past the commissary. Do you think playing D&D either as the DM or the player will be helpful in being a roleplay streamer? Also, any suggestions for what I should build in Minecraft for Fan Art Friday? So yes, Dungeons and Dragons can be a great way to improv and roleplay in a manner that can help you perform. Now here's the kicker of it though. You gotta do it with the right group, with the right mindset. That if you are dealing with a rules lawyery group of number cruncher min-maxers who are more interested in damage output and the combat, you might not get the opportunity to practice your role playing at all. No, what you got to do is you got to find a bunch of acting nerds to play with. Theater nerds are known for playing very rules light and instead focusing on the characters, the story between the characters, the role play aspect, and conversations. That is how you really make sure that you succeed in using D&D as a role play practice. My biggest work in the D&D space is I had a homebrew game. It wasn't D&D specifically. It was the Fate core system of the Dresden Files tabletop RPG. It's my favorite book series. So I got their RP books and I ran a campaign. And within we had a weekly game going with 5 players. And then more people heard about it and joined us. I had a 10-person campaign going weekly for 2 years. It was a lot. But thankfully, there was also a lot of time that I got to sit back and not do much as DM because the characters were having interpersonal drama with each other and crossing their storylines in ways that I could just sit back and enjoy them doing the work for me. So, that would be my suggestion. Find people of a similar mindset as you who will want to do the who want to do a role-play centric tabletop game. That will help you in the way Chesta Factory is suggesting. So my group is a yes then. It sounds like at Chesta Factory. Have fun. Kyla, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a chili dog on your way past the commissary. Break store open. Element of surprise! That isn't on the periodic table. What are you talking about? Dr. Sherman, if I have no literal gender, what would the gender swapping stone I'm super sorry new do? Well, intern Greeny, first of all, I want you to remember, check the database before you ask me because this is actually addressed. In species which do not have genders, such as earthworms, there is just no effect. The gender switching stone just doesn't work. It has one job, and if it can't do it, it don't do it. Raccoon Dog, thank you for donating again. What an intelligent and kind director. I sure hope nothing terrible happens to him. That would be such a shame, really. Why, yes, I am quite intelligent and kind, and I do not deserve to have bad things happen to me. Yes, I see nothing wrong with this message. Dr. Sherman, is there a specific area, length times width times height for SCP-076-2 Abel's sword? Well, not really, because you see, when pulling out weapons, Abel doesn't pull out the same kind of sword every time. These Vorpal weapons that 076-2 uses, they're always different shapes and ready for the situation. Pull out a sword, pull out a dagger, pull out a scimitar, pull out a scythe, maybe. Abel is multi-weapon trained. The only time I did a D&D typed game was a Star Wars themed one. I sat in my Bothan, had a crush on the DM's Wookiee character with consent and platonic. Oh, of course, my DM NPC ended up getting love potioned by his long-term friend who had a crush on him, and it was a whole drama, but we talked it out ahead of time, so it wasn't between us, it was just between the characters. Do I hear there's a Toad King Studios in the chat? Toad King Studios is here, everyone! Toad King Studios, not only, as I said earlier, the premier SCP merch maker, wink wink, to this wonderful Personnel of the Month mug, personalized to myself. Maybe you can get your own. But furthermore, Toad King Studios is also the creator of Foundation After Midnight. I had a complete brain freeze there. Foundation After Midnight Radio, the SCP community's answer to Welcome to Night Vale. If you're a Welcome to Night Vale fan and you haven't listened to Foundation After Midnight Radio, what are you doing? Check it out. It's quite good. Quite good. Burgers and Dogs, thank you for donating again. Have you considered 096's rage mode as a trauma response? Maybe docility is the key to seeing without angering it. You guys only scare him more. Well, first of all anomalies, all entities that are in containment are its, not he's, not she's. Anomalies are objects, not people. Shy Guy is an it. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. So, your guys are only scaring it more. And furthermore, we don't even know if 096 is sentient and sapient up there. All we've seen it do is walk around, head in hands, crying. It doesn't do anything else emotionally except for the crying part and then the screeching murder part. So, if something traumatized it that bad that it reduced its mental faculties to that far, I don't think there's anything we're going to do to fix that. And no, we're not giving it a pill of SCP-500 to find out. Yet. Don't even suggest it. Rukashu, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself a cheese and crackers plate on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, what do you think about new scientists, SCP creators? Can they make name for themselves? I'm lucky SCP-CS don't have many creators. Well, yes, anybody is able to make content. That's one of the good things about the democratization of the internet and the content creation space, is if you have these skills to make, you can be found nowadays, especially if you know how to game the algorithms. For instance, if you want to get started right now, TikTok is the best place to start. Their algorithm is just shooting people up into the stratosphere. And then you can channel that to your other platforms as well to help them grow. But yes, make stuff. Make stuff, make good stuff, make interesting stuff, be cool to the community, don't be a dick. And yeah, anyone can succeed as long as they put their minds to it and put in the work. Now, not everyone will succeed due to either not practicing the skills, luck, something might come up bad, life gets in the way. But at the end of the day, I am pro more people making art, more people making SCP content. So try it. Study your filmmaking, study your writing, study your costuming and your character work, and make something for yourself out there. Laura and AMTK88, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. Okay, I just got jump scared by an odd-looking man in a business-like suit with a briefcase, and he took the crowbar when I dropped it. Ah, well, he'll probably give it back to Gordon, so don't worry about it. Job's done. Orange Cloud, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some tacos on your way past the commissary. Sup, boss? How it be? Also, guess the SCP. I like your rhyme there. Clock, hard hat, cash register. Clock, hard hat, cash register. Huh. That, off the top, time work money, time work phone, is that a phone? Nope, that is, that is not coming to mind. I apologize, Orange Cloud. You stumped me. Weird, I pulled up the stream on mobile and my TV screen. The TV is about 10 seconds behind. I wonder if that is just a format situation due to the different platform. Do you think by giving the unkillable lizard too many drugs would kill it? If we could chemically slay the dragon, so to speak, we would have done it already. It adapts to anything. Anything. And in fact, remember, SCP-682 exists as a writing exercise. You want to consider not, oh, could this kill 682? That's boring. Anyone can come up with murder ideas. The fun part of 682 is thinking about how it would evolve to save the situation. Like, what if we launched 682 in the sun? Well, it grows solar sails and flies back to us. That shit's crazy. That's hilarious. Orange Cloud, thank you for donating again to the answer. The answer is clockwork machine. So clock, worker, or work, and machine for I see. Yes, no, I got the clock part and the worker, but the hard hat worker. And I had no idea what that machine was going for. By the way, Site 42 staff, you saw nothing. Time check, we are currently 1 hour into our 3-hour stream. Hey Doc, in the file for SCP-096, it was literally shredded apart by the unfortunate mobile task force that were responding to it. Doesn't that mean we can find the pieces of it and study it? Well, I mean, when we say it was shredded, I mean that bullets blew off chunks of meat. At which point, remember, it kept running unfazed by the chunks of meat that had been knocked off of it. But, yes, I mean, we could study the flesh of 096, but not... We already had the flesh of 096 when we went and took a sample without looking at its face, so that's not any new research. By the way, Dr. Sherman, did you know the reason 682 can't adapt to Gen Acid is because the higher form of SCP-682, SCP-6820, represents acid among many other things? No, I have not read 6820, and so I am unfamiliar with that. Interesting. I always had that in the back of my head as a, why is the acid affecting it and can't evolve to fix that, but it can evolve to fix anything else? So I'm glad at least there is an answer. I forgot daylight savings time exists, you just jump scared me with it. How? In what manner? I don't understand. Who told you that that was a good idea to do that to your hair? You can't mock me. I look fly and you look petty. Get the hell out of here. Some of y'all need to learn that online is still part of real life. And if you act like a dick, you're going to be treated like a dick. Could you sing Scapegoat by Ghost at the end of stream? Arbitus, I am sorry to say I do not know that song, so it's not going to really work out. I apologize. What's your opinion on 682 versus 096? Well, intern Coyetti, we've done that before. 096 was unable to attack 682 in any capacity that it couldn't adapt to. Eventually, 096 got exhausted and annoyed and ended up having a minor panic attack because it couldn't kill 682. And then we just put it back in its cell because it gave up. What was I had something in my head to think about to do next. And it just poofed out of my brain. Let me check the chat, see if I can find what's up. All right, so Dr. Sherman, are short 5-second animations okay for Fan Art Friday? I have some spare materials. As long as it's of Site42 or the SCP Foundation in a way that it's not just an OC. The same goes to whoever asked about cosplays. As long as you're not cosplaying just your OC, I guess that's fine. If it's an SCP researcher or myself or some sort of SCP entity, seems cool. Has Site42 ever experienced the Chaos Insurgency raiding your site? We have an arc of that happened about, 3 weeks to a month ago? It was very frustrating. Yes. Well, since we're an hour into today's stream and we're always getting new viewers in, just a quick refresher in case you're new to the stream right now. Hi there, I'm Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director of Site42, and you have stumbled upon Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site42. As Site Director of Site42 of the SCP Foundation, I am here with my door open daily to answer your questions about the SCP universe. You can ask about anomalies we contain, the staff who contains them, groups who want us to stop containing anomalies, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. We are 1 hour into this 2-hour stream, so stick around, enjoy yourselves. If you don't know about the SCP Foundation, you're about to learn you something. And by the way, what was I going to say? Remember that we have qualified to be nominated for the Streamer Award. So if you go to our support link in the chat, it's pinned in the chat or it's in our description, you can nominate Site42, SITE-42, for the following categories: Best Roleplay Streamer, Best Just Chatting Streamer, Best Vertical Streamer, Hidden Gem, and League of Our Own. You can nominate those for us. Do I think we'll win? Probably not. Do I think it'll be really funny to make some of the judges have to look up what SCP is because we got nominated? That makes me laugh. So thank you in advance for your vote, or thank you the opposite of advance if you already voted. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. Is he an alien? The suit dude, I mean. Sounded like one. He also teleported. Kind of said, see you again. Well, we don't really know what he is. It is? I'm not sure. But I wouldn't like the see you again thing if I were you. That doesn't bode well for you. Dr. Sherman, I just looked at a picture of 096. What do I do? I'm scared. Don't worry. It was an artistic representation, not a real photo. You're fine. Funbot, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to get yourself a bowl of microchips on your way past the commissary. And you didn't send a message, so thank you for your hilariously laughing pair. And thank you for your generosity. In your opinion, what is the most significant or game-changing event in the SCP Foundation's history? So if we're talking about out of universe, as in the pataphysical narrative level above me, where it's a question of the authors who write the wiki, then besides the creation of SCP, obviously, I think 6 months to a year or two into the SCP project, it started with everyone trying to keep everything on the wiki canon. So instead of there is no canon, there is one canon. And so everyone's articles had to match the canon, which as the group got bigger and bigger became harder and harder. And then eventually one SCP author who had written a ton of articles and a lot of load-bearing lore articles got super pissed at everyone, left, and deleted all their work, which made the adjoining articles that used it as a jumping off point make no sense. And so that event caused us to move into the there is no canon model, where everything just has to be canon within its own article and can use other articles as it wishes, but it doesn't have to match everything. That's pretty significant, I would say. It definitely changed the direction of how writing was done. Otherwise, SCP Containment Breach coming out was a very significant event because of how we had such a large influx of people due to Containment Breach join the community. So that was a very big moment. And then, yeah, I would say those would be probably the two big ones. But I mean, it's a site with 18 years of history now, so it has got a lot going on under the hood, so to speak. Hello, I am a living glass of lemonade. I'm taking all of the SCP Foundation's lemons. Well, intern Lemonade Fox, I'm sorry to say, but you made a mistake. That pile of lemons you got there was an anomalous set of lemons that we got from Aperture Science. They are combustible lemons. So I hope you didn't like your house, because you're about to burn your house down with the lemons! Do the SCPs have to eat and drink to survive? If so, how do you get in there without being massacred brutally? Well, intern Blocks, if it's a living entity, it needs to eat and drink just like any other living entity. Now, some of the SCPs are rather passive, and therefore, we don't have to worry. We can just feed them like a normal prisoner. But of the more dangerous ones, there are protocols in place to make sure they are fed and not a danger to the staff doing the feeding. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. Found out it wasn't even Gordon's crowbar, just a random one. Also, what happens when you get the other's attention? If it wasn't Gordon's, then why did the man in the suit want it? That doesn't seem right. That's contradictory. But, a lot of things happen once you get that thing's attention. You don't want it. Rat of the East, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to get yourself a Jello on your way past the commissary. Doc, I made up my mind. I'm thinking of being part of Nu 7 or Zeta 9. I don't know what to choose. Well, those are two contradictory statements. You said, I made up my mind, and then you said you don't know what to choose. Which is it? Have you made up your mind or not? You're confusing me here. I think I might recognize the bodies in the water. Intern Somashera, you do not recognize the bodies in the water. Stop it. Stop recognizing. No recognizing bodies in any bodies of water. None. But if you want to watch the SCP-2316 short film here on YouTube that released yesterday, I don't recognize the bodies in the water, there is a 45-minute live-action SCP short film waiting for you to watch it on the Andrea Joshua Asnikar channel. Watch it! Dapper, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go ahead and grab yourself a spot of tea on your way past the commissary. 999 is still gone. It's in the vents. Help me, please. 999 is still gone. It's in the vents. Help me, please. Well, why would 999 go in the vents? There's no one to tickle up there. Perhaps there is an intruder, and 999 has sensed it and is jollily going along to tickle the intruder, because that's what 999 is going to do. It's not going to capture the entity or person, but we can take this intel and send our own security troops into the vents to get it. So thank you for telling us that. We can fix this. Thanks to your efforts watching 999. Good work. What if you see 096 and you remove the image from your head? Intern Flame. There is very, very little methods to actually remove the information from your head in a way that is complete and total. Subconsciously, it will be linked to other memories around the 096 face seeing. Like when you remember the room you were in, you'll still remember the face. When you remember the smell that you smelled at the time, it will be linked. There's some amnestics that are powerful enough for this job, but they are very rare, and probably we wouldn't be able to get them to you in time. So it's not really worth considering. If you were somehow able to completely remove the memory, perhaps 096 would stop. But you'd have to successfully do that thing, which is almost near impossible to do in the first place. Just Alice, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some cherry pie on your way past the commissary. Fun fact, Dr. Sherman, anomaly started as, what if the SCP Foundation bribed me to comply using SCP-113? What would I do to get that? We need more trans stories. Okay, interesting. I don't really see that in the opening of your thing. It must have either be some sort of foreshadowing that you're moving to in the future, or the project scope changed. But I do agree that trans stories are always good, and the SCP Foundation is a wealth of LGBTQIA stories, and that is a delightful thing. Rose Lady, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as thank you for donating through the Ko-Fi, which has less fees than YouTube Super Chats do. YouTube Super Chats keep about 30% of your dono, and that's not including if you have like Apple taking fees out of it as well from the iPhone store. But Ko-Fi only takes 15%-ish, so it's a lot more that gets to the creator. So any creator, on behalf of them, we all appreciate it if you make the effort to go to our Ko-Fis. Mine is in my support link, which is pinned in the chat or in the description. So thank you for taking the effort, Rose Lady. Make sure to grab yourself a delightful beef stew on your way past the commissary. Came for the commissary, stay for the stern father figure. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'm trying to do my best to support the community, and you guys are part of the community, so I'm here to support you as well. In the ways that a creator can, without being too parasocial and weird for either myself or you all. It's a thin line. We all gotta walk the line of social graces properly. Hi, my name is Ace. Well, hello, Ace. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a bowl of chili on your way past the commissary. Oh my god. You did not see me throw my pen across the room. As I was saying, enjoy your bowl of chili from the commissary. Scream as loud as you can and I'll give you $5. Ah, we're doing stupid human tricks. Well, here's the deal. I do not do anything on a YouTube stream where the promise of the money comes second. You see, this is the way that we are tricked as streamers. I am too wise for these tricks. Dr. Manzo, the time check, we have been going for 80 minutes, which means we have 100 minutes left. We are an hour 20 into this stream. We are going for another hour and 40. Rat of the East, thank you for donating again. My apologies, Doc. I don't know why I put the part where I said I made up my mind, but in your opinion, which of those two are worth joining? Okay. Well, now we're talking about, it was Nu 7 and Zeta 9, right? Let me jump over to the Mobile Task Force's page. And Nu 7 Hammer Down, of course we know that one. They have so many anomalies. Very strong. Good weapons, a lot of troops, a lot of equipment. Versus Zeta 9. The Mole Rats also contain a ton of anomalies, but they're doing underground and enclosed areas. So here's the deal. Are you claustrophobic? If so, don't join the Mole Rats. Also, Nu 7 is a much bigger, more well-armed troop, meaning your likelihood of surviving an event is a lot stronger because strength in numbers. Mole Rats tend to get fucked up pretty hard because they're fighting things in enclosed places. They're good, but they're also getting in trouble a lot. So I would suggest Hammer Down is the safer assignment. Ace, thank you for donating again. And oh, you donated that $5 for the Scream, huh? Stupid human tricks it is, I see. Well, let's make this a challenge. Can I get my Apple Watch to tell me that I'm being too loud and I'm damaging the ears around me with a yell? I will give this full volume and I will give this enough time to see if we can get this to happen. Because even when I'm teaching and I'm just talking, sometimes my watch will yell at me that I'm talking too loud. Hashtag theater kid problems. But before I do such a thing, I do need to warn these staff members in the adjacent offices, because that is, I don't want to spook them. Give me a second, Dr. Chair, entertain them. All right, nearby staff is warned. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ha 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 Ooh. All right, we put some force behind it. Just scream already. Intern creature, I am the site director here. You have no authority over me. Stop your impertinence or face the consequences. Ah! No siren. No alerts. Oh well. Was worth a shot. Nice. Does the SCP Foundation support the arts? Oh, intern Cece. We absolutely must. Have you not been to any of the Foundation's theatrical performances? The theater department has a lot of things to do. For instance, SCP 1417-J is called, codename, the Passive Aggressive Meteorite. 1417-J is a meteorite that landed in the year, when did it land? In the 20 redacteds. Of course, we redacted the date for no good reason. SCP Foundation, try not to be addicted to your black marker. Challenge level, impossible. And this meteorite, if it is not being scientifically studied in the way that it likes, it does mean and or violent pranks to the nearby area until it is then scientifically studied in the way it likes. And it doesn't like actual science being done on it. No. The meteorite enjoys very dramatic fake science like in B movies. Tungsten tubes and electrical coils and beakers, lots of beakers, and scientists going, "Oh no, the particle accelerator has reversed fluctuations. We're all going to die unless we reverse the positron flow." And so, that particular anomaly is contained by members of the Foundation's theater department who have taken specific classes in Foundation Training Seminar 43021.102, Improvisational Acting and SCP Containment, Seminar 52033.206, codename Advanced Technobabble, and Seminar 83902.101, codename Seminar Science! And so these researchers have to put on airs to get this anomaly to calm the hell down. And as Amber says, we have a really good reading of this particular anomaly here on the channel. And I say it's really good because it's a remaster. I had done this one as one of my earliest readings because it was so much fun as an article. But, you know, early as a YouTuber, you don't have the best skills making videos. So I did a secondary article reading of it, but after 6 years, not only had my skills vastly improved, but I also got guest voices, Radiger, otherwise known as their previous wiki handle, Tanfarad. I ought to change that now that they've changed their name. Tanfarad, as well as SCP author Tanhoney. They were voice guests on this article, which was very good. And so please listen to SCP-1417-J, the Passive Aggressive Meteorite, featuring Radiger and Tanhoney on the Site42 YouTube channel. I do not think you will be disappointed by this. And let me put an @ symbol there, since Radiger has a YouTube channel. And now, this many years later, YouTube will allow me to give Rad some advertising. Tanhoney and Radiger. And I'll @ symbol her there as well. Wonderful. Save. Alright, coming back to the chat. I need to refresh the chat. Ace, thank you for donating again and for complimenting the scream that you requested. Yes, a warning to all in the Containment Hazard Assessment team. We have heard enough of the SCP-67 meme, and the desk is treating comments about it as spam. So be careful out there, the moderators are ruthless. How do I escape SCP-3008? Well, Amanda, intern Amanda, I don't think you're gonna have a good time, because that door moves around, and that means that your odds of finding it are very small in an infinite space. I suggest you find a survivor village and get comfortable. Which SCP was the tree that won't scream? Well, that would happen to be SCP-4521. The bastard tree that won't scream. Which, by the way, just as a fun fact, if you're unfamiliar with this, SCP-4521, the tree will not scream, has a different code name than one would expect. Its code name is, in all lowercase letters, "Please raise your voice, my hearing isn't what it used to be." Now, I have no idea what the hell that means. Do you have any idea what the hell that means? I would love some intel. It means speak up, you quiet weirdo -J. Well, I never have been called quiet a day in my life. Also, I like the idea of putting -J's at the end of your text to denote a joke, like a tone indicator, like a /J. This is my message -J to say it's a joke. That's cute. I like that. Doc, do you think the Roblox SCP games accurately represent the Foundation? Intern Masochist, the answer is I don't know. I am unfamiliar with any of the Roblox SCP games. I don't play a lot of PC games in the first place. So I do not know what they're doing or how they're doing it. You would have to tell me how accurate they are. What was your first SCP contact? Intern Knight, I cannot remember for the life of me. Amnestics are a hell of a drug. I've been with the Foundation for 12 years, so there are some things you just lose track of after multiple bouts of amnestic treatment. Are the back rooms technically an SCP? They are not an SCP at all. One thing you got to pay attention to is that if it is on the SCP wiki as an SCP article, it's an SCP. If it's on the SCP wiki, but it's not an SCP article, it's something that the Serpent's Hand is holding, or the GOC, it's one of their anomalies, then it is anomalous, and it is canon to the SCP universe, but it's not an SCP, it's just an anomaly. If it is not on the SCP wiki, then it could be anomalous, but it is not an SCP for sure, and it is not canon to the SCP universe. Can SCP-682 speak fluent English? I've heard that 682 can speak English. Intern Brady, yes, 682 can speak multiple languages, actually. And in all of them, it keeps threatening to kill us, so we don't have a lot of conversations with it. What are your thoughts on how SCP-5K is going? It's one of those games I desperately want to get into when I actually have a computer to play. Tactical Mobile Task Force action looks extremely sick. So I haven't played it, but what I do know is that in having worked with Afray Interactive, creators of SCP-5K, to promote it and work with them on other SCP projects, I don't know if you guys know this, but Afray is a pretty big company. And beyond working on SCP-5K, they also work and collaborate with a lot of different SCP content creators, SCP projects. For instance, the new SCP-2316 short film, I Do Not Recognize the Bodies in the Water, by friend of the channel Andrea Joshua Aznikar here on YouTube. Apparently he did a sponsorship deal with them. I'm not sure the details of it. I'd like to figure it out. That way I can also work with other people in the same ways that help them out. You'll learn from your friends of things they're doing well. But they also, the lore of 5K is being written by multiple SCP authors. And they have worked with those SCP authors to put SCP-5K's universe lore canon onto the SCP Wiki proper. They are doing a big, hard job of both making their game and interlocking with the SCP community in ways that uplift both the game and the community. And that deserves a lot of respect. So while I haven't actually played the game, and honestly, I'm not much for shooters. I'm more of a story gamer kind of guy. I like a good RPG, an adventure game. But, you know, I played Counter-Strike back in the day. I can do a little bang-bang shooty-shooty once in a while. So I'll have to give it a try sometime, just because it's an SCP game. I need to know. Dr. Sherman, how do I put my SCP, his name's Tokume, on the SCP Wiki? Well, intern Clown, what I'm going to direct you to, on the front page of the SCP Wiki, as seen right here, if I come over to the sidebar in the top left corner, this section that is highlighted right at the top is called Getting Started, and it contains the guide for newcomers, join the site, contribute, frequently asked questions, and the Universe Hub. This is where you'll get all the information you need for joining the SCP Wiki and submitting your article. Furthermore, on the other side of the page, right in the top 3/4 to the right of this gray bar, you'll see these tabs here. Resources, reading the guides, the essays and resources, the wiki syntax, and the sandbox and the user tools will also help you understand the website a lot clearer, making it easier to do what you want to do. So fly forth and make your art and make it happen. Oh, that's so damn cool. I wasn't aware of any of that, and that genuinely makes me so much more excited to follow the development more tightly. Oh, definitely. Afray, they are some cool bros. Definitely check out their Discord server and stuff like that. They run a lot of events. After 2316 premiered yesterday morning, they held a 2-hour interview with the director to talk shop about the film and stuff like that. It's on their YouTube channel. You should check that out if you enjoyed the film for more content on it. When we interviewed Andrea yesterday, that was just after he got off that stream with Afray. So I'm trying to help him make the rounds and get the word out about this short film. Foxtrot, thank you for donating again. Hey Doc, so again, the parody is done. I do intend to sing it myself as I do have experience. I just know where to go to post as I am very, very shy. Also writing an article, and I'm just now noticing how much goes into an article. So let me start at the end here. Yes, a lot goes into writing an SCP article. People are surprised by how difficult it is when they first try it. Now, I'm not saying it's incredibly hard, but it is hard for a non-writer. Writing is a skill just like any other. And so you practice it, you improve. You read other stories, and you think critically, and you break down, okay, why did they write it like this? Why did they put this detail here? Is this detail foreshadowing something in the future? Is it hiding something in the future that will be a surprise? And so especially writing SCPs, you want to break down the SCP articles you read and think about them from an insider's lens. Why did the creator do it like this? Why not do it another way? What does this accomplish? And this kind of critical breakdown helps you to understand the format and utilize it to your advantage in your writing. And yes, also the format of SCPs is quite restrictive, making it difficult to fit your story into the format in a way that is satisfying. But it is also an interesting writing challenge, and rising to that challenge feels pretty good. Signed, I've written like 7 or 8 SCPs, and it's a good time. Furthermore, you said, I just know where to go to post as I am very shy. Well, if you want it to be seen by the public, you have to post it somewhere. But perhaps you can post it somewhere a little more secluded to test the waters. For instance, since it's an SCP parody, perhaps post it in the Site42 Discord server for just the Containment Hazard Assessment team first, and then if you get good reactions and you like how it's going, maybe you post it to a bigger server next, like the SCP official Discord, before putting it somewhere public, like on YouTube. And what you can do is you can upload it to YouTube as an unlisted video. That way it doesn't get in the YouTube algorithm, and you can just share a link so only people who have the link can see it. Of course, someone might share that link in a public place and it might get seen, so you want to mitigate that the best you can if you're doing a slow rollout. But also remember, being shy about being noticed and being perceived is another skill that can be overcome with practice. When I started doing these daily streams, I didn't know what I was going to talk about, and I did not like the idea of being live and uncurated, unlike my videos, which are edited. Now, it was lesser anxiety for me because I have done acting and improv acting in the theater space, face-to-face to people. Therefore, it was easier for me to get over that than most, but you'll want to work on pushing your boundaries on that skill until you improve and improve and improve. Not in the server, sadly. Well, Foxtrot, you can share it with some friends then. Share it with some friends and get a reaction there first. Dang, nice hair, bro. It's like a sunset or like your head is on fire. You know what stars love? The funny thing is you were right on the button the first time for what we were trying to. We were trying to do a tropical beach sunset. Although it did come out just a little more vibrant than we wanted. So it does give Fire Phoenix, fire type Pokemon of all kinds as well. But I'm not mad about it. I think it still looks pretty good. Low Key, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some Huckleberry Pie on your way past the commissary. Hey Doc, from the office of Ryza Director K. Did the taxes and paper cuts and reports make the tree scream? No. And they all healed over anyways. No lasting damage, no screams. Son of a... But next time, we'll come up with a test that does it. I'm sure of it. What do you do about SCPs that can teleport? Intern Rose? Not a lot. For instance, SCP-507, the Reluctant Dimension Hopper, it just teleports and we have an ankle bracelet on it so we can find it when it pops back to our dimension. If we have the resources to get a Scranton reality anchor, sometimes that can mitigate it, but not always. It depends on what is causing the anomaly. Sometimes it's advanced science, sometimes it's magic, sometimes it's Humes. It depends on what's causing it if an SRA can do the job. So they're not a get-out-of-jail-free card, as a lot of people believe in casual thought. Just a random question. Do you by chance have any fun facts about SCP-049? I know you must hear this a lot, but I'm a fan. Well, 049 is a very popular article. I'm not shocked. Fun fact, did you know that SCP-049 is French? Not a lot of people realize that. We found that son of a gun in the middle of France. It was speaking French when we found it. Most people hear the voice work done by friend of the channel and excellent voiceover person, the Volgan, otherwise known as Dr. Miller, and they hear that straightforward voice, but 049 is from France and spoke French the first time we talked to it. So not a lot of people realize that. It doesn't get brought up in the casual fandom a lot. Who would win, Scarlet King or the Gate Guardian, and what would happen if the Scarlet King enters Eden? Well, Intern Bowen, the Gate Guardian is a world-class, a world-level anomaly, but the Scarlet King is an outer universal level anomaly. Scarlet King sweeps, easy peasy. And if it entered Eden, it would just destroy it like it wants to destroy everything. How do you deal with SCPs that escape from the facility? We hunt them down and put them back in their boxes. Burn the tree. Well, we burned it with a branding iron which healed over and also did not make it scream. So, yeah, we've tried that. I really want to write an SCP. I have a full dynamic of where I want to take it, but I hate writing stuff. I'm more of a drawing type. Writing gives me a headache, man. Well, that's tough, because we are mostly a creative writing community. 99.999% of the lore of the SCP Foundation is written works. So, I mean, there is the odd exception, like SCP-2521, which is a pictogram article, and specifically that way because it was a least words used contest on the wiki, so obviously pictures is the least words used. But what's the phrase I'm looking for here? I mean, when I made my first SCP, SCP-3086, yes, I had to write it all out, but because I was a voiceover guy, I used that to my formatting, and I did it as an article that could only be contained via audio recordings, because writing it down would infect and replicate the anomaly. So, in that case, I used format changing to my advantage. And I mean, hey, maybe instead of just writing your entity as an SCP document, maybe since you're an artist, you do like SCP the comic book, and you make your own SCP comic book in which you explain the story of the anomaly and what it was doing before it was contained, or what it's like in containment, or if it breaches, or stuff like that. So you can find a way to make your skills resonate in the SCP community. And reminder, not everything needs to be canon to the wiki. Canonicity to the wiki is nice to have, but I mean, think about it like this. I am canon on the SCP wiki because of the 049 article. And then over the years since I've been around, I've been referenced in a couple other articles. But compared to like Dr. Clef or Kondraki or Sophia Light or Dr. Wrights, I don't really have that much material or character on the SCP wiki proper. But thanks to my YouTube presence, I have a lot of presence and video presence, and Dr. Sherman is a well-known name because of that. So consider how much needs to be on the wiki versus how much can you make in other ways. And of course, there are people who do like SCP comics, and then they make pages on the wiki that they upload their comic book pages to. Plus, after you're done with all your pages, you then have a comic that you can make and market and sell, even if you wanted to. So yeah, make it work for you. I'm sure you can pull something off here. Desk. Hyperfixated creatures comment of I'm new here, what do I do other than cry in a corner and read yaoi angst is okay with me, because if you go on Tumblr, all you see is yaoi angst of the SCP researchers. That is as much a part of the fandom as anything. And since it's not within an anomaly, I'm not disapproving of it the same way I am as those who try to fraternize with anomalies. Mega Sizemore Man. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a chalupa on your way past the commissary. Good day to you, Dr. Sherman. Intern Mega from Containment Hazard Assessment Team is reporting for duty. How may I assist today, Dr. Sherman? Okay. Intern Mega, what I need for you to do... Checking in the work orders today. All right, that's fine. We have a test arranged for tomorrow that. We don't need to look at that yet. All right, so what I need you to do is I need you to look in on SCP-3148, codename Tranquility. 3148 is a 300 terabyte solid state drive that contains seemingly information from alternate universal versions of the Foundation. I want you to start combing through that data and document what could be important for us in our universe to keep track on. Good luck. Low Key, thank you for donating again. Hey Doc, as a curiosity, what is your opinion on Slate Thunder and the Coldest War? I'm thinking of making an RP server based on Slate Thunder or the Coldest War. So I'm honestly barely knowledgeable of the Coldest War, and I'm not at all knowledgeable of Slate Thunder. So off the top of my head, I literally have zero thoughts, head empty, on these things. So let me just take a look at the hubs and see what we say. The Coldest War. The Foundation knows no ideology but containment. The rest of the world, on the other hand. Welcome to the Coldest War, a tumultuous landscape of subterfuge and violence set against a backdrop of clashing ideologies and the last embers of romanticism. Across 40 years and 7 continents, the Foundation struggles to keep the anomalous from... struggles to keep the anomalous from bringing humankind even closer to destruction at the hands of overzealous ideologues. Before you jump in and read what's been written, Stories cover 1945 to 1989. Much is left to your discretion, although that you add new events to the timeline in pencil. Bear in mind that other writers may want to use the same countries and figures and their own tales. Again, there's a canon, but there's still no canon. So, all right, well, there's a World War Foundation going on in the Coldest War. Now, what in tarnation is Slate Thunder? Briefing on Slate Thunder, Chaos Insurgency Orientation. Well, I hate this already. I'm Colonel Neil Hornby, Senior Supervisory Intelligence Officer for the Foundation. It is my turn to give the Chaos Insurgency Orientation. Okay, this is better. It's an orientation for us about the CI, not inside the CI. The CI are one of the Foundation's oldest enemies. What do we know about them? Wow, I didn't know the CI defection was in 1933. That's a lot earlier than I would have imagined. Okay. Well, I'm sure either of those settings could provide a lot of complex lore, inter-agency subterfuge, and very interesting fun times for you and your role players. So, yeah, I don't really have a lot of opinions on the two of them because I'm just now getting introduced to them at all. But, either way, I hope you have fun with whichever one you choose to go forward on. I imagine the Coldest War would give you more to work with because you could loop in more organizations. If the Slate Thunder is just the CI, that would limit you some. But you can get deeper into those organizations, so that could work differently. Bro, what the fuck are you doing? Well, Intern Zone, we are at the 2-hour mark, so it's not a bad idea for me to time check and reintroduce myself. Hello there, if you're just joining the stream, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director and Head Containment Specialist at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And daily, for 6.5 months and counting, I open my office doors to you, the Foundation staff, to answer your questions about the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who don't like so much that we do the whole containment shtick, and or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview. Perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. I am here for the next 1 more hour to answer your questions. Low Key, thank you for donating again. Glad I could introduce you to Slate. It's great. You should definitely read more into it. Oh, sounds fun. Did the movie Cabin in the Woods have a viable containment procedure, or was there a better way? Intern free. In the movie Cabin in the Woods, their entire world ended. And that's because they were all killed by a single red button allowing every anomaly they had in containment to be released into the facility elevators at once. Why did that button exist? Why? How? Not even turning keys to lock it? So yes, perhaps there were some flaws in their containment procedures. This is why you leave the red buttons alone when you see that shit. Damn right, Sheeny. Also, good to see you. How you been? What if a blind person looks at SCP-096? Intern GOG. It depends on how blind they actually are. If they are completely blind, seeing blackness, no vision whatsoever, then 096 would not pursue them because they cannot see its face. If they are legally blind, so they can still see but like can't drive a car, then they would still get murked by 096 because they would still see its face, even a blurry version. What happened to your hair? Did you dye it? No, my hair naturally looks like this. Come on, son, critical thinking skills. Yes, I had the on-site stylist dye my hair, and I think it looks exceptionally stylish. Ace, thank you for donating again. Help, they found the gender switcher again. Well, who? Who found it? Because A, if it is a staff member who is transitioning and they've talked to their on-site therapist and done the proper paperwork with HR, then they should be allowed to use it once it comes as part of the Foundation medical plan. Now, if 049 found it, then that is okay because we have a truce with 049. 049 helps out the mobile task forces to contain anomalies and not kill people. Then we allow it for the good behavior to use the gender switching stone whenever it wants. Don't know why it wants it so bad, but hey, far be it from me if we get less murders from 049. Now, if it's someone besides them, that would be annoying and I would like to not have that happen. What is the floating hand spider's numerical designation? Intern GOG, unfortunately, well, I don't think unfortunately, the floating hand spider is not a canon SCP. Here on Site 42, when I duet anomalies I find in the wild, I may pretend they are SCPs for funsies because I'm interacting with them as an SCP researcher. But unless it is SCP Wiki canon, it is not actually an SCP. So the floating hand spider, you'll notice in those cases, I always put SCP redacted so that I'm not mixing it up with a canon anomaly. So if you ever see me do SCP redacted in a video, that's why. I don't want it mixed up with a real SCP, so I don't give it a real number. Ace, you're saying the Chaos Insurgency has the gender switching stone. Well, that is not accurate at all. It is, well, it is en route from site to site right now. Why would they steal the gender switching stone? I'll have to look into this and confirm this because We're still looking for the Chaos Insurgency that raided Site-42, the ones that have knowledge of George the Chinchilla, SCP-3086, and plan on releasing it in the Wanderer's Library, which would essentially destroy all knowledge, because all books in all knowledge in the universe in that multiversal library would become just George the Chinchilla. And then that would seep out into the other universes connected to the multiversal library, so everything would fail. That's not good. But those guys have gone to ground, and we haven't caught any broadcasts of them calling into base. They're not going to call in while we're looking for them. So we have to find them before they can escape our perimeter and get that information to the main Chaos Insurgency. Do any of the SCPs have ADHD? Well, you would need to look at their personnel documents. I'm sure some of the humanoid anomalies have mental issues of their own. We have, especially when they're trapped in containment, they often develop depression, and we do what we can to mitigate that, but we're not going to let them go, so we got to figure something out. But yes, I wouldn't be shocked if some of them have ADHD or things like that. Not that it really matters for containment, so we don't really keep track of it that often, I guess. Ace, thank you for donating again. The CI is at my door. Help. Well, perhaps you should invite them in and then Home Alone style trap and disarm them so that we can pick them up and interrogate them as to where their cohort are. That'd be nice. Could you do that for us? VW Austerlitz, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some Mentos, the Fresh Maker, on your way past the commissary. What do you think of Task Force Ignis, not a canon task force, from Rubik's Raptor? TLDR, extremely incompetent, yet they somehow usually achieve their goals, though with extremely high casualties. So, I am not familiar with this, but you've just explained it in a way where I would probably find them extremely frustrating, but not allowed to disband them because they get the job done. So, I would probably be the type of site director to constantly be trying to get them disbanded because they're wasting so many resources and lives, but they get the job done, so they're allowed to run rampant. Unfortunately. Hey, how's it going with Billith using his Slowgramming? It continues to sound awesome. Yes, the new music from Billith, SCP author and experimental hip-hop, lo-fi, trip-hop, robot rock musician Slowgramming is going great. We got some hip tunes, a nice playlist custom-made by Billith so that all the songs on it are approximately the same volume. That way they do not fluctuate in volume in their songs you can't hear and things like that. So Billith, thank you again for donating your time to make excellent music we could use on stream. And if you're enjoying the tunes, you can listen to them yourself on Slowgramming on YouTube, Spotify, Bandcamp, all over the place. Slowgramming is one word, by the way. Ace, thank you for donating again. Instructions unclear. I called in an A10 gun run. Will they be able to talk after this? I mean, at least they'll be gone. Dr. Sherman, I would like to know, if possible, are there any SCPs that resemble puppets? Because I want to write an SCP, and I just want to know so I don't accidentally overlap with any SCPs. Well, before I go hunting, let me say this first and foremost. I would not worry about overlapping with other SCPs at all. Because, however you write your story, you are not going to write it the same way someone else did, unless you actually copy their work. So your SCP story about puppets is going to, by nature of being written by you, be different. And that's cool, and that's why any idea can be redone if it's redone differently and well. For instance, SCP-173 isn't even the only statue on the wiki that moves if you blink. There's another statue called the Startling Statue that stays still if you look at it, but if you blink, it disappears. Except it disappears right behind you, so that when you turn around, you go, ah, and it surprises you. So yeah, that said, we will check out the puppets just for funsies. And what I'm actually gonna have you do is I'm going to have you ghost what I'm doing here, which is on top of the search, top of the page, you'll always see the search bar. Oh, is that Dr. Sherman's author page in Site42 Hub? What a cool SCP page where you could see SCPs that I wrote. And maybe other links that might be important. I don't know. But anyways, hi, here's the search function for the SCP Wiki. And when you come here and type in the word puppet, we get many stories and tales and SCPs that include puppets. Or at least even mention puppets, because here's Hog Slice yelling about puppets. That's not a puppet anomaly, but they're just talking about puppets. So yeah, give the search function a try, and do what you can, do what you can. Java name. Thank you for gifting 10 Site42 memberships to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. If you got one of those memberships from Java name, make sure to thank them for their generosity and valor in helping us win the battle against the white names. VW, thank you for donating again. Another thing about Task Force Ignis, they're also quite brave as a whole and charge headfirst into battle. Also, they have respawn abilities. Well, it's not brave if you're going to respawn after, is it? No, you know you're going to be fine. That's not bravery. Come on. There's no risk. There's no reward. Ace, thank you for donating again. Now I have to clean up Red Mist. I make bad choices. Well, please make better ones. I would have liked to interrogate those people, and now I can't. One question, my favorite Pokemon is Espeon, what's yours? Intern Rose, Snorlax and Munchlax for life. Body slam those bitches, always works. Well, I guess I need more coffee. What would happen if 096 and 173 were in the same room? Well, they would... 173 would attack 096 because 096 wouldn't know to look at it. So they would get in a pretty bad fight about it. VW, thank you for donating again. I actually joined some insurgents a bit ago with the commie spiders. Ha, the communist spiders. Always a laugh, except for the fact that they're spiders. Get some mobile task force in here before the spiders indoctrinate them and they form a group of interest. Well, I wonder if they'll listen to reason and talk. Doc, you should take a look at 9047. I'm not familiar with that anomaly off the top of my head, but perhaps I already read it. Ah, this is what Ethan, Foxy Bunny, and Billy the Go-Goat are working on. Although, starting out, it's already at a -1, so, might be a bad sign. Well, we'll check out how it does. We'll see how that goes. Billy the Go-Goat. It is a policy on Site 42 that we wait until articles have survived the community vote before we read them on stream or talk about them. It's a question of canonicity, and works aren't really canon until they've survived the vote. So as soon as it survives, I'm good to go. But I don't want to jump on it too soon if it's not going to survive, because then I want you guys to be able to clean it up and put up the best version of it. You know what I mean? VW, thank you for donating again. Are there any instances of a human or anomaly escaping the influence of the engine and leaving the Chaos Insurgency? Asking because I'm making an OC. Are there any instances of human or anomaly escaping the influence of the engine and leaving the Chaos Insurgency? I am sure that we have defectors from the Chaos Insurgency, either to the Foundation or to other groups of interest. They would never allow a Foundation member to have such hair. What are you talking about, Intern Timeless? Do you think the Foundation people all wear the same thing and look alike? No, we all have style. We all have interests. Some Foundation researchers have tattoos. Ooh, scary. Spooky. There's some goth researchers. There's some cat girl researchers. It's a very diverse workforce. Random Blob, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. SCP-393 versus Abel, who would win? Well, Abel is pretty strong, but not unbeatable. I am not familiar with 393, so not exactly. Let's learn about a new SCP. The Memory Planner. Ordinary blue day planner with a year embroidered onto its cover that always matches the current year. Why would a day planner be in a fight with Abel? It can link to a nearby subject. It will appear in the hand of its owner whenever it's not being watched. Any event written in the past dates of the day planner are instantly recalled by the subject as if they experienced it themselves. Events written in future date of 393 will elicit no change until the date of the event has passed, at which time the subject will recall the event. So, I think if we bonded it with Able, this could confuse it because it would have false memories. The day that a D-class got hit by a bus, the moment the event is recorded into the day planner, the subject went into a deep coma, as if having been hit by a bus. So, in that case, that could be used to harm Able. So honestly, we could kind of Death Note Able with that thing. Fun! VW, thank you for donating again. If there are commie spiders, are there capitalist spiders? Well, if there are, we haven't found them yet. And it's possible there might be another universe where the spiders are capitalists. Everyone in chat, in case you are unaware, the blue name, the Desk of Alto Clef, is our moderator. They will answer some questions if I'm not getting to them. They will also moderate the chat. Pay attention when the blue name speaks, or else. Intern Bowen, my bad, I mistook 939 for 393, my bad. Ha 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 ha. Oh, trust me, you're not the only person to mix up the digits of numerical designations of anomalies. It is a time-honored tradition. And honestly, Able can take on with many voices pretty easily. I think it's actually much more damaging to use 393. So thankfully, we all got to learn a new anomaly and an interesting way to harm Able that we didn't know before. So I consider this an absolute win. You know the red right hand? I'm the mahogany right hand. That's pretty good, Desk. That's pretty good. Help, 939 is trying to convince me to let it out. Well, Intern Gamer, are you stupid? Don't listen to it. It's that easy. Walk away. O49 is doing TikTok dances again. What do I do? Intern Haven, you do nothing. Let it entertain itself in a way that's not causing murder and zombies, please. I am fine with it. Rebel Commander, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some turkey jerky, some Turk jerk on your way past the commissary. We should make a SCP Minecraft staffed server, not kidding. Well, I am not a Minecraft person, and I'm sure there is possibly some SCP Minecraft servers out there. But if you want to make your own and have a group for it, that is up to you. Good luck with your creativity. By the way, guys, watch You Do Not Recognize the Bodies in the Water. Super great short film. Oh, are we talking about SCP-2316? I Do Not Recognize the Bodies in the Water? A 45-minute SCP live-action short film by friend of the channel, Andrea Joshua Asnikar, on YouTube, which at 24 hours and change has 7,000 views and deserves way more views. Can we get it? Some more views than that, please? Because what if we put this on and we see our agents investigating the anomalies and all of the spooky glory of investigating a lake that wants to kill you real bad. Oh, are there cultists? Are they trying to kill you? Of course they are. What else do cultists do? Then try and kill you. Oh no, she's getting murked. You better watch it. What happens is very scary. SCP-2316. It is right here, waiting for you. They recognize the bodies. That's not a good thing. I know they didn't recognize the bodies. I was just saying that because they were walking in the water. If you want to know what they were actually doing, go watch it! It is linked in the description. You should see it. You will enjoy it. Returning to the chat. And when you go watch that movie, that 45-minute live-action short film, make sure you comment on it. Make sure you like it. Make sure you share it with other people in other Discord servers, with your friends who like SCP. Tell them it exists. Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename Signal Boosters, if there was any time for us to do our work, this is the moment. I believe in you. I watched it just before stream. Dr. Samuel Lawrence, that is good work. Now, while you watched it, did you comment on it? Did you hit the like button? Please make sure you have done these things. If you can't think of anything to comment, say something like Mobile Task Force Psi-42 is ready for action. Say Dr. Sherman sent me. Say Site 42 is here. Say something in the comments to boost this thing. This should have so many more views in 24 hours. We need to put our backs into this, people. We need to put our backs into this. What would be the best way to start doing SCP videos? Well, Intern Haven, my question for you would be, what is your talent? What are you capable of doing? Are you an animator? Are you a musician? Are you an actor? What skill would you bring to the table to make videos about the SCP Foundation? That should guide your way. For instance, I am a one-man show. I have some friends in the industry, but unfortunately most of them are in Florida, and I'm in California. And the ones who aren't, the ones I do know in California, Well, it's really expensive out here, and we need a lot of money to get these professionals to stop taking their day jobs and start doing SCP movies. But in the meantime, as an improv actor and theater person, I am able to yap on stream very well and keep it going. I am able to make short skits, either by myself or duetting other people's videos very well. I am able to write short explainers about SCPs and the community to advertise it. And so that is where my niche has put me and succeeded. Find your niche, find your way, and that's how you're gonna do it. Rebel Commander, thank you for donating again. Don't forget to hype it too. Yes, when you watch, you do not recognize the bodies in the water, hype it, because that's a new feature, and it's available for smaller creators to give them hype boost. You see, the thing is, because I have so many subscribers, I'm not even allowed to use the hype function. I don't get any hypes, so I need you guys to hype it. You get like 3 hypes a day or something like that. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's a day, I don't know. But use your hypes. Use them to hype that video so more people see it. Do it. And sub to see more short films like that. Exactly, Frogman. Subscribe. 3 hype per week. Thank you, Rose, for the clarification. Use your hypes on this one. Dr. Sherman, I've been wondering this for a while. How would SCP-682 fare against SCP-1025, the Encyclopedia of Common Diseases? Well, think about this. Diseases have vaccines. Diseases can be cured. 682 adapts to anything. So it's just going to adapt to the disease. It's not effective. Gotta stretch my back. Been sitting for a little while. I watched the I Don't Recognize the Bodies in the Water yesterday. It was a 10 out of 10. Loved it so much. Hell yeah, roar X caution. And hey, let me tell you this. Honestly, every piece of work on the SCP Wiki has upvotes and downvotes. You're not always going to like all of them. Sometimes you can hit like because it's not your flavor, and so you don't like it, but you can tell it's a good piece of work. And sometimes, in the case of short films, even if you think, okay, well, I see the flaws in this, we still hype and support. Because every project they make, they get stronger, they get better. And so if we keep them rolling, the flaws will go away. And so even if you don't think it's a 10 out of 10, I still think you should support it. Although I am glad you still think it's a 10 out of 10. That is good. You deserve a donut, Dr. Sherman. Well, I am feeling a bit snacky, and stream ends in 30 minutes, so maybe I will wander down to the break room for a donut afterwards. Can SCP-049 turn SCP-008-2 zombies back into humans, please? Intern Angel. 049 can't even turn its own zombies back into humans. So, what do you think? Why do you think it would have any difference with other kinds of zombies that aren't created by it? Right? Wonder if you expose 682 to various currently incurable diseases, if we could use that adaptation to manufacture cures in the long run by running tests. You know, Sheeny, it's not a bad idea if we could get the samples without losing too many staff members. The problem is every time we would send a D class in to get a sample, 682 would just eat the D class and the sample. So that does make it a little difficult to get the samples back so we could figure out why it adapted. But if we can figure out the logistics, I'm not going to say no. I think it's not a bad idea. I just thought of this after my previous question. How do you think 682 would fare against a supermassive black hole? Well, intern Guy, once again, the challenge is not coming up, the writing challenge, the writing prompt of SCP-682 is not just discussing what could kill it. The challenge is discussing how it would get out of any situation. And so I'll give you one more example. A supermassive black hole. Well, if we throw 682 in a spaceship and shoot it at a black hole, do you think it's not going to break out of the spaceship before it gets anywhere close to the supermassive black hole? It's just going to blow up the spaceship, grow solar sails, and then fly back to us. Or, even if we did get it into the black hole, 682 has already been completely written out of existence and then just popped back into existence. So, there is no success here. But the question I have for you is the next time you have a question of what would happen, come up with what would happen. Instead of asking the question, make the answer. Get creative. That's how you build your brain up for SCP research. Are there any Foundation staff that play D&D? Well, in our pataphysical narrative level, obviously Foundation staff are kind of nerds, at least the researchers are. And so yes, some of them would have nerdy hobbies such as video games and or Dungeons and Dragons. But I could even go to a higher pataphysical narrative level, and I could tell you that Dr. Gears, the actual Dr. Gears, the creator of the Dr. Gears character, one of the OGs of the SCP Wiki, creator of SCP-106, creator of SCP-682, runs a D&D campaign on Twitch that you can watch. So does, I believe, Dr. Sumerian. Although I don't know where Sumerian plays it. I believe it's Twitch as well. Desk, if you can tell me more details about those, I would be happy to pass on our friends here. There we go. Twitch.tv/Gears presents for Dr. Gears's D&D sessions. Wait, why is it set on returning to the Foundation anyway? Solar sails to come back? Well, Amber, it's not wanting to come back to the Foundation. It's wanting to come back to Earth and then do a Bender Bending Rodriguez and kill all humans. And so 682 is not coming back to containment, it's coming back to Earth. Then we have to recontain it and cover the damage that it does. Do you plan on making new plushies? Mr. Man, I am, in fact, considering a new run of plushies. The thing is, and now, just so you guys know, right now, in this year of our Lord, 2025, and by our Lord, I mean SCP 5320, our long and merciful Lord, who is the longest boy, the longest fish of most infinitude. May we find the head and the tail. Amen. Let's get drunk at work. That one because there's the drinking aspect and the snacks. And oh boy, do we need that right now? When it comes to this year in merch sales across the creator community are way down. Our sponsorships with the playing card company and the comic book company did way worse this time around than they have in the past. Toad King Studios, friend of the channel, Etsy seller, is seeing massive drops in purchases, as well as with other creators he is familiar with. It is just a bad time on these streets, and can you blame people for not buying knickknacks and fandom things right now when the world is on fire and the economy's terrible? I don't blame you. And so I might wait until markets get a little better before trying the next plushie run. You know what I mean? And Desk has got me Dr. Sumerian's D&D Twitch, which is codename twitch.tv/playersandbook. Is it actually Players and Book, or is it Handbook? And did you misspell that, Desk? Rebel Commander, thank you for donating again. You should check SCP Beyond Sight on Kickstarter. I have never heard of that. Project took place in the SCP Foundation universe. Rural England. Mobile task forces. Inspiration from Overlord. Student film. They have a TikTok. All right, well, I'll need to peek in on that a little bit and see if I can't get some intel. Thank you for the tip, Rebel Commander. Okay, yes, Desk has informed me that that was the correct link. Players and Book, a Sumerian classic play on words. So, if you want to watch Gears Presents for Dr. Gears, or Players and Book for Dr. Sumerian, there are two real-life SCP authors who are doing excellent work in the D&D field as well. I just had to cancel some subscriptions and reduce Patreon. I'm sad to hear it, Amber, and remember, everybody, never give me or any creator more money than you can part with. You need to survive first. Put your own gas mask on. If you have extra spending money, that's what you gift to creators. The goal is, hopefully, with big enough platforms, everyone can give a small amount to get big money all at once, and that's how we make our projects. If you bleed yourself dry, that's not good. We've seen the same thing in the dance teaching industry. We would have one, they call them whales in the app industry and things like that, where you depend on one person, and once they're burnt out, the business fails because they can't anymore. You gotta spread the wealth. This is arts communism, everyone. Arts communism. Yeah, I wish I had money to support this channel too. Well, Lane, I appreciate that you wish that even if you don't have it right now. But remember, even if you are part of the broke gang, which trust me, we are an arts community. Starving artist is a term for a reason. As long as you're here in the chat, chatting and hitting the like button, as long as you're watching our videos and commenting and hitting the like button, as long as you are liking, sharing, and subscribing things, doing that YouTube dance, then you are an honored and valued member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codenamed the Signal Boosters. And because of your work in the engagement driving, Site42 grows stronger. We spread that wealth to other SCP projects, to the SCP Wiki itself, and its artists, animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers. Did I say authors, artists, and animators? Because I meant to. And the more we support the SCP community as a team, the better this all goes. So I thank you for your service, Signal Boosters. Is there an SCP monster drink? Well, not exactly, but there is an energy drink anomaly called Energy Drink by Dedo, the person of interest and parapharmacologist. One of the flavors just sets you on fire, so I would not suggest it. Intern Gamer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a pack of juicy fruit on your way past the commissary. And since you didn't send a message with your dono, you just sent the smiley face. Thank you for your generosity and smiley face. This is so skibbity sigma. No cap, fam. This channel is why I have a researcher coat now. Very nice. You have a lab coat. Do you have the insignia patch yet? Toad King Studios on Etsy has a lot of good SCP patches if you need one on there. How about SCP-682 versus 018? I think 018 could theoretically obliterate 682 in enough time. However, 682 could adapt before that state or regenerate then adapt, and 018 could destroy the site. So, I don't remember 018 off the top of my head. Let me look. The Super Ball. Well, it would bounce so fast that it pierces through 682, but it would just leave a bullet hole that it could heal, right? And again, you could have thought of that. I wonder if we have tested that even. Remember, a lot of these are in the SCP-682 termination logs as well. And so you can see what SCP authors have considered what would happen in these cases. F018. We have not tested it with 018, but as I said, it turns into a bullet, essentially. Yes, if it goes fast enough, it maybe could pulverize it, but also the odds of it bouncing at the right angle and 682 not getting out of the way is very slim as well. Desk, you are saying today is the wonderful Radiger's birthday? Well, happy day of birth, Radiger, if you ever see this. Wonderful. Wonderful. Good for you, friendo. DV, welcome to stream. You say you're new to the stream? Well, I'll give you the quick rundown, even though we only have 15 minutes in today's stream left anyways. Hello there, I'm Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director and Head Containment Specialist here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And once a day, I open my office doors for what is called Dr. Sherman's Office Hours. And so I am here for 6.5 months so far of daily streaming. The streak continues strong, answering your questions about the SCP universe. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who don't like us containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures for anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, I am here to answer those questions for the next 15 minutes, and then we'll be back for tomorrow's stream. You're right, I did think of that, however, I just couldn't fit within the character limit. Ah, yes, the dreaded character limit. Cool, thanks for the rundown. You're quite welcome. Over 3 times like versus viewers. 261 versus 75. Good work, team. Hitting that like button, getting it done. Weird question. Is the SCP universe connected to other universes? Well, it depends on what universes and how you mean connected. The SCP universe has a very vast multiverse with a lot of things going on. After all, there is no canon. And by there is no canon, I mean there are multiple canons that you can pick or choose at your leisure. And so there's a lot going on within that. I just realized you can like live streams. Congratulations, Intern Lane. Welcome to, you're getting your streamer viewer cred up every day. Learning something new, that's good stuff. Speaking of the playing cards, they seem to be close to shipping. Oh, that's actually pretty quick. That's good news. What happens if you put a banana peel in front of SCP-173 while you're blinking? Hilarity. And then murder. Because it's not going to slip up in a circle. It's going to slide even faster into your face. But instead of breaking your neck the way it normally does, it might slip up horizontal and drop kick you in the face. Well, I just don't watch live streams a lot, okay. Hey, Intern Lane, you're fine, you're fine. As I like to say, I learned from the webcomic XKCD. Anytime someone learns something new or doesn't know something, you don't make fun of them for it, because no one has the entire wealth of human knowledge in their head. No one knows everything you already know. And so I think it's something on average, they say that about 10,000 people a day learn a new thing, or like learn about a certain subject. And so you're just one of today's lucky 10,000. What if you look at a painting of 096? Intern Slatton, it clearly says in the 096 article that artistic representations do not activate 096. A painting would not activate 096. Please keep up with the documentation. What happens if you flip 682 upside down? Will it never get up? Intern AO, do you think that if you flip a lizard on its back, it can't roll over? Especially a shape-shifting lizard that could probably just turn its limbs upside down and be right-sided again? I am confused by your query. Intunes, Intern Surat. Firstly, this is the first time I'm seeing your name. I haven't seen your prior questions. Second, threatening the streamer to break a rule if you're not heard. Not great viewer etiquette. Third, now that I know you know the rule you'd be breaking, I don't have to give you grace if you break it, because I know you did it intentionally. Watch yourself. Can I take a bite out of SCP-999? Does it taste like Jell-O? Intern comedy. SCP-999 specifically smells like your favorite smell. Everyone's favorite smell is different, but 999 always smells like your favorite smell, which is peculiar. We're not quite sure how that works. But due to the link between taste and smell, it is likely that therefore 999 tastes like your favorite smell. Now, that wouldn't be a perfect analog to the taste of your perfect favorite taste, but it would be close. But here's the problem. SCP-999, on contact with a body, tickles. And can you imagine something that tickles going through your entire digestive system? That's not going to be a fun time, I tell you what. Not to mention that SCP-999 is as big as a couch. Well, yeah, but at least this person only said take a bite out of, not eat it, because that would be too much. Why did 682 used to be a hiker? Intern Gilliam, I have no idea what you're talking about with that. Could you elaborate? And do so quickly. We're in the last 5 minutes of stream. 4.5, really. Doc, what are your thoughts on the Serpent's Hand? They seem kind of chill, not gonna lie. I hope that isn't traitorous to say. Those hippies? Come on. Oh, all anomalies should be free, and you shouldn't contain them, even though it would ruin normalcy for the rest of humanity. Plus, they keep that big honking library of all the knowledge in the known universe locked off from us, so a bunch of asshole hippies. Who heard of hippies that are assholes? Come on. It's supposed to be the other way around. I thought hippies were nice. What, I thought it was small? You don't work there. How does 999 work if... Intern Gilliam, you're talking about something else now, but you just happen to also... bring up an interesting question outside of the one I'm waiting for you to explain. So, also, no. SCP-999 in the documentation on the wiki is 2 meters by 1 meter. It is large. Most people imagine it as a little tiny slime with little eyeballs and a face, but it also doesn't have facial features. It is just a big orange slime. I'm giving 999 facial features, no one can stop me. Well, there is no canon, and there are some universes where it does have facial features, just not the one that we call default. Hey, Dr. Sherman, what's your favorite SCP? Mine is SCP-173. Well, intern McCamus, literally, I always say my favorite SCPs at the end of stream. It's kind of a tradition around these parts. And we are ending stream in 40 seconds. So, hang around 40 seconds and you'll know all my favorite SCPs. What if you lobotomize SCP-682? Well, it can regenerate brain tissue, so it just regrows it. Love the shorts, man. Keep them up. Well, thank you, Stuffy. Appreciate you stopping by. We will keep up the content. We will spread the Foundation far and wide. And that, Site-42 staff, takes us to the end of today's stream. Now, of course, I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I personally wrote. That would be cheating. That would be narcissistic. But if you do want to see the SCPs that I wrote, you can go to the Sherm's Site-42 hub and author page on the SCP Wiki. There you can see all of the SCPs I have written, as well as contributed voice lines to, or sound effects, things like that. And one tab over from the SCPs that I wrote, you'll find a list of links. A list of links, some of which people are very interested in finding. They're very excited. They ask about them all the time, but then they never check there. They never check the place where the links are. Sad, you know? But while you're there, you can become a Site-42 Patreon patron, as well as a YouTube channel member if you want to support us monthly. You can do Ko-Fi donations or Super Chats on YouTube if you want to donate to us one at a time. Anyone who can spare to donate to us, we appreciate it greatly to help us keep the lights on for the crew. If you cannot afford to, because you're part of the Broke Gang, as I said earlier, do not fret. As long as you are here in the chat, chatting and liking, if you are on our videos, commenting and liking, if you're doing all that like, share, subscribe, dance to game the YouTube algorithm to help us bring in more people, then you are an honored member of Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codename the Signal Boosters. And because of your efforts, we are able to bring in more people into the fandom and then shotgun them over to the SCP Wiki, as well as its authors, artists, animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, etc. Speaking of filmmakers, we are ending stream. As soon as I do, you should go watch the SCP-2316 short film here on YouTube. I do not recognize the bodies on the water, by Andrea Joshua Asnikar. Make sure you comment on that. Make sure you like and share that so more people see it, so our filmmakers get the support they need to keep making more SCP movies. Amazon, Netflix, all them, they will never make an SCP film because they're afraid of the Creative Commons. They want to own the rights. They do not want people to be able to reshare their work. And we are going to do it ourselves because of that. So, make sure to support this film and make sure to support all the SCP films that come in the future. We will do our best, Psi-42. Now, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it is a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, 8980. Content warning on the last one, it's a rough read. I see a good question I want to answer real quick. Intern Vox Adept. Hey, I want to get into SCP. What's a good place to start? So, think of getting into SCP the same way you think about getting into comic books. There's far too much to expect to understand everything. So, start with some of the more popular articles that people know that you know about. And then branch off, follow links to other places, to other stories that are linked with them. If you have friends who know SCP, ask them what articles they like, because if they're friends with you, they might have similar taste in media. If you watch content creators like me or other content creators on TikTok, YouTube, etc., if we bring up an article and it sounds interesting, go read it on the wiki. Watch SCP short films like I Do Not Recognize the Bodies in the Water by Andrea Joshua Asnikar. And once you enjoy that short film, look in the description. There's a reading list of the SCPs it was based on. You can go to those SCPs and check those out if you find them interesting. The more you jump into it, just diving in, checking out whatever you can get your hands on, the better. So, don't worry about getting everything. Don't be afraid because there's too much. Dive in and start swimming. It's the best way to get into it. Whew! Site-42 staff. I have been Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director of Site-42. And this has been another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site-42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. We spotted the ocean at the head of the trail. Where are we going? So far away. And somebody told me that this is the place where everything's better and everything's safe. Walk on the ocean, step on the stones. Flesh becomes water, wood becomes bone. The credit song is Walk on the Ocean by Toad the Wet Sprocket. Be safe, be well, Site-42 staff. Secure. Contain. Protect.